Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So, as you can see, I'm barefaced. This means we're going to do another how-to video. Our how-to videos are basically, they can be short, they can be long, depends on how I feel and how rambly I am, like now. And it's just going to be me showing you how to do whatever the topic of the video is. And if you have any suggestions of what topics you want me to do, anything you're struggling with, anything you want a bit of advice on or want me to show closer in depth or different products for, let me know in the comments below. I will get around to it eventually. And because I do have a good list of these, I have about 10-15 videos planned for this, so yeah, there's a lot. So yeah, I'm hoping that you guys like these videos. So our topic for today's video is going to be a matte skin. I've already done a natural skin. This is going to be our matte skin. So your matte skin, you probably already know what it is, but I'm just going to explain it anyway for anyone who doesn't. Your matte skin will have no shine most of the time. It's usually favoured by oily skin because oily skin gets shiny, matte skin is not, so they tend to use it to kind of combat each other. And yeah, I tend to find people like a semi-matte or you know, a dewy with a little bit of matte, or like me, I like a natural dewy but it's set in place, if that makes sense. So I do use my powders, but then I go in with my setting sprays at the end. So I'm gonna go through just quickly like things about my skin. So my skin is dehydrated and dry, mostly dehydrated but can get dry. So basically what happens is when I wash my face, when I get out of the shower, I have to use either a hydrating spray or a moisturizer instantly because it feels really tight and I cannot stand that feeling. And if I don't look after for a few days, it will get dry. I will get dry patches. I'm currently having one right now because it was my boyfriend's birthday in the past few days and we went out a couple of times, we were having a few drinks, and one, that dehydrates your skin anyway, and two, on our hangover days, even if we're not hungover, there are hangover days we kind of veg out and do nothing. But on those days I didn't even like moisturize my face. I didn't do anything like that, so I'm regretting it now. But anyway, I know how to combat it, it's fine. So this is actually probably not the best type of foundation look to do on my skin right now because I am a bit more dry, but sure, look, we'll go with it. I know what I'm doing and I know how to combat these things. So let's get into a few products that you can use for a natural skin, for different types of a non-natural skin, a matte skin, for different types of matte skin. Okay, so most important is your skin prep. It's always where your makeup starts, all that kind of jazz. Whatever moisturizer you use will affect your makeup. Whatever cleanser you use will affect your skin, will affect your moisturizer, will affect your makeup. So always put a bit of thought into what you're using. You don't have to sit there and think for an hour before you get ready every morning. But if you put a bit of thought into it before, you know, like, oh, I'm using this because of this, you don't have to worry about it, you know what I mean? So I'm keeping a constant with these videos and it does work quite well anyway. So for my skin, I just toned it and I use my Fix Plus spray to hydrate because I needed that. I'm like going through that so quickly because of this week. But my constant is going to be my Embryolisse La Creme Concentrate. I don't speak French. It's just a nice moisturizer. It's a moisturizer, makeup primer and moisturizing mask, so really nice on my skin. I might actually do another layer of it because it is absorbing into my skin. But yeah, that is a really nice moisturizer for anyone who is dry, dehydrated and likes to wear makeup, because it does help with the makeup and make it look really smooth. So I'm going to show you and I'm going to use them after I've showed you each step. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to show you what primers to use, put them on, show you what foundation to use, put them on, concealer, put them on, all that kind of jazz. So let's get into primers. That's our first step. So it depends on your skin. All of this, everything in these videos depends on your skin, depends on your own preferences. It's all you. These are just reasons maybe why you might choose these things. So I'm gonna show you two like extreme opposites of each other, and one that has another reason for using it, and it's probably what I'm gonna use. So your first thing is, if you are more oily, depending on your skincare, depending on how your skin will get oily, you might just get oily in certain areas, whatever it is, you can go in with something like this. This is the Instant Illusions Airbrush Primer, Airbrush Away Primer from number 7. It's just a little small size. I got this in like a advent calendar or something like that. Basically it's more silicone based and that kind of blocks the oil from coming through. It's like a barrier, it stops it from coming through. It also smooths out the skin, so if you find you have a little bit of a breakout, you're getting any like texture on the skin, helps with that as well. What I will say is it's quite matte, So on my skin especially right now, I do use this. It's fine. On my skin right now, I'm not going to use this because it's too matte for my skin. My skin is more on the extreme end of dehydrated dry, so I'm not going to make it worse by using matte and then going with matte foundation, matte concealer, matte powder. Do you know what I mean? So you have to balance your skin out a little bit. Say you're quite dry like myself, but maybe more extreme than me, and maybe you do want to add a bit of glow to the matte look. I would go with something like Strobe Cream. It's not a primer. It's not going to grip the makeup onto your face, but if you're using the right matte foundation, you shouldn't need to all the time. It's basically a moisturizer, an illuminator. It's got a bit of a glow in it, basically. This one is the red light. It doesn't come out red. It's white with like a slightly red iridescence to it. There's peach, pink, gold, silver, all that kind of stuff. The pink is the original, so if you ever used it before, that's the pink one. Yeah, I love the peach one. I love the gold one. Not necessarily on my skin because I'm too pale for it, but on tan skin, it's gorgeous. Peach is lovely when you're going on holidays. I love that one. Silver I quite like on my skin as well. It's quite nice. I just grabbed this one out of my drawer. So yeah, Strobe Cream, really nice. Gives you extra hydration as well. So it's really nice then to help give you the hydration, give you a bit of glow, but also your matte is going on top of it, so it's kind of balancing each other out. Now, the one I'm going to go for, because one, it goes with this foundation, and two, I find it hard to wear this foundation sometimes, and I find it easier with this underneath it. So this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Primer. Soft Matte Pro Filter Primer. So it does mattify a little bit, but it blurs the skin, which I quite like. So say like around here, if you've got pores, any kind of blemishes, it just helps to soften the texture of the skin. But I just find the foundation goes on so much easier with this guy. It will, obviously it's soft matte, so it is nice for oil controlling, but it's not super heavy duty like the way the number 7 one is, say MAC Skin Base, say the Benefit Professional, whatever one that's like that kind of texture. It's not as heavy as that. I find it has a bit more hydration in it, so I think the combination of my Embryolisse and this should be fine underneath my foundation. And I'm going to show you a technique that I use with this foundation if you do find it a bit too matte. So yeah, let's get on with popping some primer on. Okay, so for this I'm just going to do about 2 pumps of the foundation, or not the foundation, the primer. My god, it's too early in the morning. And we're just going to pop this on. I like to focus it more in the center first, because that is usually where people get a bit oily. Wherever you get oily is where you're going to start, you know what I mean? So you can start there, get the most, benefit from your products there, and then pop it on, spread it out everywhere else. Now, that's not to say I don't get oily, like I kind of don't, but you can be dry and still get shiny, you know what I mean? And actually a lot of the time you'll get oily if you are quite dehydrated, so that's all you and your skincare, you know what I mean? It's all things, and it depends on the skin. I can't recommend things. You can explain it to me and I'll try to recommend a few things if you want to down below, but unless I'm in there touching your face, it's kind of hard to get an idea of it. Now, what I will say as well is that if you go in with too much primer, because you might think loads of primer will help, it won't. It'll actually do the opposite, and it'll slide more because there's just too much product on the skin. So what I always say to people is your skin should bounce back at you. Yeah, as in almost stick to your finger when you're touching it. Shouldn't be dripping in product. It also shouldn't feel like you've been putting nothing on. It shouldn't feel like the way your skin felt before you put it on, if that makes sense. So it should feel a little bit tacky. So my skin feels nice and tacky. So let's move on to the foundations that you could possibly use. Okay, so I have 3 again that I want to talk about. Kind of varying in coverage, kind of. So first thing I'm going to talk about is one I don't use that often. I haven't used it a lot really, but I do use it every now and again. I do find my skin does look a little bit more on the matte side when I use it. I don't know if it's necessarily advertised on that, but on my skin it does. This is the Inglot Cream Foundation. I use the shade 20. It's this guy here. I would say it's more like a sheer medium coverage on my skin. I would definitely use a brush with it as opposed to a sponge, because I find a sponge takes forever to do. A quick buffing brush, way easier. I've used my fingers with it, it's actually fine as well. I would find with this foundation you have to definitely moisturize a lot underneath it. Now the one I'm going to use today is even more matte, so I mean that's just one thing, but it's kind of it's a thicker consistency with a sheerer finish, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? Now it is a lovely foundation and I do use it, just not that often. So yeah, that is one option if you do want a lighter coverage. Also, there's another one, I just don't have any of it because I don't use it. The MAC Matchmaster is a nice sheer coverage with a matte finish. So that's another option. I just know that for a fact. Next up is one most people probably use. A lot of people do use. A lot of people that it's dirty. A lot of people that I work with use it. A lot of clients that I work with use this foundation. I think it's the second best-selling foundation in the world. Is it? I think Estee Lauder Double Wear is number 1. This is the second. It is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation, SPF 15. So it's good for during the day. I wear NC10, as you can see. This is a great one. It's a medium to full coverage, so you can build it. You can wear it medium. You can build it up. And it's a natural matte. So that's why I do wear this a lot. This is like one of my favorite foundations. And I like it that it's a natural matte, so it's not super shiny. I can add my glow here and there. I could mix a bit of strobe cream in with it. I could put a cream highlighter on, something like that. Loads of hydrating spray. That kind of thing. Or you can go matte with it. Or you can do a little bit of both, which I like to do a little bit of both. So I like to set it, but then use my setting sprays and my hydrating sprays to bring up the glow a little bit more again. But at least I know it's going to stay on. You'll get about 16 hours of a wear out of that. So he's lovely. Alright, so onto the foundation that I am going to actually use. I am going to go with the Fenty Beauty, what are you called? The Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. I'm using the shade 110. It's a tad pale. Why are you not in focus? Why are you not focusing? There we go. My focus is having a moment today. I don't know what's wrong. I have the shade 110. It's a touch pale. You'll see when it goes on, I do look very pale when I put this on. I could have gone with a shade up with it, which I probably would the next time, but I do want to try their moisturizing foundation because that's a little bit more on my side. Now I do find this very matte on my skin, but I've prepped my skin. I've used things to help with the fact that it is so matte. My method of application for this, I find the best on my skin, with it being dry dehydrated, is actually a sponge, and I tend not to use a sponge that often. This is just a Real Techniques sponge. It's one of them funny mad shapes. It's my clean one, so that's why I'm using this one. But I find a wet sponge, because it's wet, helps it go on a lot easier on my skin. So it doesn't look dry, it doesn't go patchy, it doesn't absorb too much into my skin. So I find it's a lot easier to pop it on with a sponge as opposed to a brush. So that's the way we're going to do it. Prepare yourself for even paler, Carla, because that's gonna happen, just letting you know. So I always tend to start with like 2 pumps, maybe 3 pumps depending on the foundation. I'm just gonna do 2 for now, and then I'll work through that and then get more if I need to. And just bouncing it on. And you will find a lot with foundation, it's trial and error. It's, do I use it, do I like it, do I get a sample, go into a store, get it tried on, you know, whatever way you want to do it. Preferably just go in and get them to try it on you. It's a lot easier that way, because then you can see how to apply it yourself. You know, you'll be shown how to use whatever product it is. But you might not get it the first time you buy a foundation, and you might end up giving that foundation away. And that's just what happens sometimes. Like, makeup artists know these things because we've done the trial and error for you, if that makes sense. So we know what products are going to work best with which foundations that we use. We know it's just because that's the way it is. You know what I mean? It's in our job. We have to try these things. I would find with this foundation, it's a medium to full coverage as well. I wouldn't build it. That's just me personally, because it is more matte and it does dry down quite quickly. So I wouldn't really build it up. Very pale. I always use bronzer with this. Like, I don't always use bronzer, but I always use bronzer with this foundation because it is on the paler side. It's because when it came out, everyone kept saying, oh, it oxidizes, it goes a lot darker. It doesn't. It sets, and that's all. It doesn't actually get darker during the day, trust me, because I know from wearing this one. Basically what happens is when a foundation dries, it has to set, so it has to dry down, and it will go darker for that say that first hour maybe. So, you know, whatever it is until it sets. Sometimes even it takes like 2 minutes or something like that. It's the only way I can describe it to people is if you're painting your wall and you put fresh coat paint on, like 1 coat, you let that dry. and it goes to its colour, you know, whatever colour your wall's going to be. And then you go in with your second coat, and when you put that wet coat of paint on, it's a completely different colour. That's the way it is with foundation. It's exactly the same idea. So that's something to always bear in mind. Put your foundation on, even if you're just doing a little swatch test, do a little bit on your jawline or your neck, preferably your neck. That's the way I do it. On your neck, and let it dry for about 3 or 4 minutes and just see what colour it actually goes. So let's move on to some concealers. Now, concealer, I'm not going to go too into because I do want to do a separate video on. I'm just going to show you 2 that you could use. One of them is my Holy Grail. It is my MAC Pro Longwear concealer. It actually might be a little bit too dark for this though, depending on your own colour in the foundation. But for me, this is actually a bit too dark, and it's one of the pale shades. So yeah. And my teeth looks so yellow, which is lovely. But basically this is a full coverage concealer. There's a little pump on it, which is cool, but the glass bottle is a bitch because it tends to fall and smash. But yeah, it is full coverage. It sets. Some people say it sets very matte on their skin. I think it depends on the skin. On me, it's quite a satin finish, so that's nice if you are going more the matte but for a drier skin kind of route. Now this is actually a new one for me. This one my friend got me for Christmas. This is the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. This bad boy is no joke. This is heavy duty. I would imagine, never used it, but I would imagine it's a bit like Shape Tape. Yeah, and this is in the shade Fair Beige. But this is no joke. This is what I'm going to use because it's light enough to go with this foundation, but it's so matte and so full coverage, so you do not need a lot, but you have to work quick. Oh my god, do you have to work quick. So it's one of those giant like doe foot applicators, like Shape Tape. That's why I feel like it is the e.l.f. version of Shape Tape, texture wise as well. Again, I've never used Shape Tape, so normally what I do is dot 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 dot, or dot 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 under eyes, and then do the rest of my face in it, like once those are blended in. I can't even do that with this. I have to literally just like go dot dot, and then I like to use my finger because that's just what I like to do. As you can see, it's quite pale, and you don't want to use as much as you think you might need. Trust me, I made that mistake the first time because I usually do like 4 or 5 little dots under my eyes. I do 2 now with this because it's just so heavy duty. But yeah, this is where you're going to get your coverage, like I said in the last video, so you can customize it yourself. You can just do your under eyes, you can do skin, you can do blemishes, you can cover your face if you want to. It's up to yourself. Okay, now you have Ghost Face Carla. My eyes look so small. So yeah, this is the skin. Now you will see towards the end I won't look this sick. Not sick, but like, you know, really I look way paler than I normally am. So, and I try not to go paler than I normally am. I try to actually match my paleness. So we're gonna move on to a bit of powder. For powder, I mean, yeah, I probably wouldn't. I am going to, but like I probably wouldn't normally. I do powder normally, but with this foundation I find I don't actually have to. So for my powders, this is the one I'm going to use. This is the PS, that's from Primark Beauty. Rice pressed powder in, I'm going to assume it's porcelain because it's super pale. That kind of colour, but it's quite sheer, so that's what I want because I already have a good bit of coverage going on. If you want more coverage, go for this bad boy. This is the Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation. It is a foundation, regardless of what people tell you. It is a foundation, but it can be worn as a setting powder, but it just has a medium to full coverage as well. This is shade NW10, which I would probably go for, even though I'm NC10 normally, but I would tend to go NW with powder. I just don't want to be too yellow. I kind of want to be more neutral. So that's one option for you. You can do a translucent powder. You can do whatever kind of powder you want, whatever powder you find works for yourself. So let me get a brush. And it's just a Makeup Revolution brush, whatever it is. So this I'm just gonna, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't really powder. So I'm just gonna do a small bit along like my forehead, where I find it might crease, like as in my own lines are. What I will say though, sometimes when you put powder on, it does actually darken a little bit, so that's something I will go into though in the video for powder. But this might not look too pale once I put powder on. Boom. Oh, I'll tell you, I am so going in with setting spray. So that's pretty much our natural skin. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit just so you can see the texture of it. I'm probably still so pale that I'm reflecting all the light, but just so you can generally get an idea as to how the texture looks on the skin, if you can see that, hopefully. I don't know, I might cut this part out, we'll see. But yeah, that's where my blemishes were. You probably still see them, but that's fine. So I'm gonna get ready for work. I was supposed to do a big video for like an actual makeup tutorial, like an actual look, but it's a theme week in work, woo, so it means we're wearing brown smoky eyes, woo. I want to do pink and mint green, but whatever. So we're doing brown smoky eyes with a different lip every day. It's just a theme day that we have in work, and our theme week, which we normally don't do a full week. We normally do like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or sometimes even just a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I usually have my Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to film, and this week I don't, which is fabulous. So that's why I was like, I'll do my how-to video, because at least then it's something and it's a good video to do, and I can just do my skin whenever I want to do my skin, whatever. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is do my eyes off camera. I'm going to do my skin off camera, like my coloured part of my skin, and my lip and everything, and I'll come back to you once that's on. And I might not do highlight, I might show you what it looks like without highlight and then add highlight on. So yeah, I'll see you in a sec. Alrighty guys, doesn't that look better now with a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of blusher on? So I'm still pale. I mean, I am pale anyway, so that makes no difference to me. But to me, it just looks a bit more warm. There's a bit more colour back on my cheeks, so that's why blush is always important when you're paler. I haven't put any highlight on. That's the only thing I'm missing, because I wanted to show you that this is what it would look like just with no highlight if you don't like highlight. And let me get a little highlight brush. I'm just going to use MAC's Double Gleam highlighter, because it's a really nice highlighter for pale skin. So you can still get your nice glow, but if you're quite oily, you need to be precise with where you're popping it. So say you get oil in your nose, you're not going to do your nose, you know what I mean? If you get oily here, you're not going to put any highlight here, you're going to stick it more back here. If you get oil in your forehead, don't put it on your forehead. Yeah, so that is our finished matte skin. It's a full coverage skin, which I wasn't intending on, but sure, look, that's how it went. I did give you options as to more natural foundation, so that's up to you, whatever way you want to do it. And like I said, it's all trial and error. You can try it and let me know how you got on with some of these products or other products that you found. If you have any tips and tricks, if you do have oily skin, talk about it in the comments, because the only way people know is if by hearing it from other people, and then you can try it yourself and see what you're more interested in trying. Because I only have one type of skin, sorry, I don't have all of them. So it's worth it then for a few people to kind of discuss what they like, what they don't like, and then we can kind of all decide on what we do like. So that is our finished video. This is our matte skin. You can let me know in the comments down below if you want me to focus on anything in particular to do with makeup, or any videos in particular, things you're struggling with, whether it's liner, lips, lip colours, cheeks, whatever. Let me know, and I'll let you know. I'll either give you information in the comments, or I'll do a video on it if I feel like there's enough information to give a video on. I'm out of focus again. But yeah, that is it for our matte skin, and I'll leave the link down below my natural skin, which is one I did before this. And when I get a few, you'll have a good playlist to go through and learn a few bits from. You can let me know down in the comments if there is anything you did learn, and that would be really nice, because I like to hear those kinds of things. And yeah, hit subscribe down below. Give me a thumbs up down below for, that was two different things at once. Give me a thumbs up down below to tell me you liked the video. And also let me know, or also hit subscribe down below. Actually, I don't know what way I'm doing this outro. Hit subscribe down below to see more videos and to see all of these how-to videos that are going to be coming up. There's usually, hopefully, going to be one a month, unless something happens and maybe I don't get one up, or maybe I put multiple up a month. Who knows? But I'm planning on one a month. So you'll have a good few to get through each month, and something to look forward to every month. So yeah, I hope you are liking this series, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye!